Hi everyone, welcome to the Ravit Show. We are here in Bangalore with Deepti from Flipkart and Bhanu from TiDB. Super excited to chat with both of you around data, AI, and much more, and a lot of use cases that I'm kind of looking forward to learning more. Just for audience, would you like to quickly introduce yourself? Maybe
Sure.
Deepti, you can go first.
Sure. Yeah, so I am currently managing the platforms team at Flipkart.
Yeah.
We have a whole suite of managed services, including databases, security services, storage, messaging stacks, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been part of this team for about 5 years. And
Nice.
overall, completing 14 years in Flipkart. Before that, I've worked in a couple of startups, all of which got acquired or got shut down. And this is my largest stay in any company. And yeah, in Flipkart, I'm excited about the journey that we have had in building multi-DC solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And TiDB has been a very active partner in enabling that journey.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Deepti. Bhanu?
Yes, hi. So I manage TiDB India business.
Yep.
I've been there in this company for 4+ years now, and I've been very fortunate to see the growth of distributed SQL databases and of course TiDB in last 3 to 4 years. We see challenges out there in the market, and we are so happy to go and talk to people, and at least in a position to tell them that we can solve the problems. So yeah, we are happy to and very excited to have this discussion today.
Thank you. I'm going to obviously jump right in and have a question for Deepti. Or to kick off things, obviously, Deepti, I'm kind of curious to know a little bit about what were the early challenges you were facing with MySQL at Flipkart. Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. So we had almost like hundreds of MySQL clusters, and the scale was growing at a rapid rate.
Yep.
And we were also getting into new business models like quick commerce.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the challenges that we were facing was, of course, the rate of growth of the data. Like for all our transactional systems, the post-order
Right.
systems, we were using MySQL. So the size of the data itself was growing, and
Yep.
we were getting into a mode where apps were required to do like app layer sharding, or basically
Right.
the challenges that come with not having horizontal scalability. So that is one of the challenges, and which was complicating our application architecture, slowing us down,
Yeah.
and so on. The other thing was because we were getting into quick commerce and like those kind of businesses.
Yeah.
So there, having high availability was even more important.
Yeah.
Right, and we could not afford even a few seconds of downtime that is invariably required for single master systems like MySQL. Right, so that is when we started looking at distributed SQL solutions.
Right.
And yeah,
TiDB came into the picture.
Came in as a savior, yes.
Fantastic. One quick question for you. When you first engaged with Flipkart, how did you find it unique about what did you find unique about their requirements? But it's a big company. What was the feeling? And tell us a little more about it.
Yeah, I think Flipkart is one of the pioneers in e-commerce
Right.
in India, and they being the pioneers, I think this was an opportunity for TiDB to help them solve their existing challenges. And these were early days for us in Asia, and getting an opportunity to solve the landscape of, like what Deepti mentioned, they have hundreds of MySQL databases, so they are in the field of e-commerce, I think the biggest customers of MySQL used today in India. And I would argue even across the globe, they are one of the largest adopters.
That's
right?
fantastic.
So I think that opportunity for us to showcase the value of TiDB was something which was quite unique. And I think if I talk about some of the specific requirements of Flipkart, one thing which I would like to call out was their I think regulatory requirements of having a DR, right? Which means I think whatever clusters they are running today on TiDB, they need a DR for the same. Now they are going for an active setups, right? I think which is something not many try, and I think it's it's commendable that the application teams and the data infrastructure teams are trying that out for future. So I think these are something which I really kind of they're
Yeah.
quite exciting. Yeah.
Fantastic backstory, and thanks for sharing that, Bhanu. Deepti, I have a quick question for you as well. So, what made you look beyond, traditional relational databases? How did TiDB come into the picture when you were, kind of experiencing these problems in MySQL as well? Tell us a little more.
So we did a very scientific ROI analysis. We obviously had an option to stick with MySQL and do that app layer sharding and make it more seamless for clients by building some recipes for them. Or we could go with a distributed SQL solution, which would also expedite our move to our multi-DC and hybrid cloud journey, which is what we wanted to do. So as a strategy, we wanted to be able to burst to public cloud
Right.
for events like flash sales, or we have that annual flagship sale called Big Billion Days.
Yep.
So the requirement there is that the scale is usually 6 to 8 times of the usual traffic. Right? And we didn't want to provision our data centers for the peak loads all the time.
Yep.
Right? So as a strategy, we wanted to get into hybrid cloud, which means in addition to our private data centers, we also wanted to be able to burst to a public cloud.
Yeah.
So having a distributed SQL solution, which is not cloud specific, which we can deploy on-prem as well as on a public cloud, that kind of fit into our strategy very naturally. And we did evaluate a lot of distributed SQL solutions at that time. And based on all of our ROI analysis, TiDB came out on the top.
Yeah, I think a lot of factors kind of come into the play when you kind of, even looking at a database or, thinking about going for a solution. So those are very important factors that you mentioned. I'm kind of also hearing from this is scale.
Yeah.
Which kind of plays a very important
Correct.
role. So can you tell us a little bit about, Flipkart now definitely handles over 1 million queries per second.
Correct.
How has TiDB kind of helped you maintain that level of performance,
Correct.
but at the same time, made sure where scalability is not a question anymore?
Right. So when we talk of scale, usually our user path systems are more heavily under fire.
Right.
And our post-order systems, which are more transactional, right? Where throughput, etc., is more important. There, scale was not as much a challenge few years back.
Okay.
But with, like I said, businesses changing, business models changing, the post-order transactional world also became a contender for this high-scale transactions. So that is where having a horizontally scalable solution like TiDB really helped. Having that storage compute separation also kind of helped us seamlessly scale the compute layer.
Yeah.
TiDB being the stateless component. So yeah, those are some of the things that really helped us. Plus, MySQL again, inherently being a single master system, the vertical scaling limits we had started hitting.
Yeah.
And TiDB being a horizontally scalable solution, that
It
helped
kind of
us
worked out
kind of
pretty
worked
well.
well for us.
That's awesome. Bhanu, quick question for you. We hear a lot about scale without trade-offs. How does TiDB deliver on that high throughput companies like Flipkart, or you have many other enterprises that you all work with as well? Tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, so I think scalability is at the core of TiDB architecture, right?
Right.
That's the base of why this distributed database was built on the first place. I think I would put scalability. First of all, we all know that right now in the industry, the traditional databases, like Deepti just mentioned, can vertically scale up, right? That's the ceiling they have. That's the hard limitation which they have. And scalability, I think the most important and probably the most essential part of scalability is to see how easy you can scale out, right? Are you doing any manual interventions? Are there risks associated while you are scaling up your systems? And generally with traditional systems, all of this, there is a tick mark, right? So They have problems scaling out. There is a lot of manual sharding which happens. There's risk associated with performance, downtime, customer satisfaction. I think there are a lot of things which come in. So I think that is the key thing which TiDB solves. It being a distributed database, it eases out this operations of scale out. With just a click of a button, you can just go and scale out your systems without any downtime, with no impact to your ongoing workloads. But I would also like to talk about the dimensions of scalability. We did a survey last year to understand from our existing customers what scalability means to them. And we got some really exciting answers from them, right? So, of course, when we talk about data volume increasing, it is scalability for most of them.
Exactly.
But what we also heard was, somebody said it's the capability of running higher workloads for us is scalability for them. Another company told us is the ability of running higher concurrency is scalability for them. SaaS customers like Atlassian told us that storing millions of database objects in one single cluster is scalability for them.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think when we heard that, first of all, it was excitement for us.
Yeah.
And we are proud to say that TiDB can achieve all those dimensions in just one single cluster.
Very important.
Right? And I think that is the value which we provide to any digital native businesses today. Definitely e-commerce keeps coming up with such events, right? Flipkart goes through the big billions day on a yearly basis. And similarly, there'll be others, who'll have these festive periods, and the spike. True. And scalability, if it is as easy as it can be, then it becomes a lot more easier for businesses to carry on their peak.
Yeah, these are fantastic insights, Bhanu. Thanks for sharing that. And definitely, what I'm kind of also hearing is like every enterprise has a different definition to scaling, how they're scaling, and TiDB is kind of doing that job for them. So, which is fantastic. Deepti, I also wanted to ask you a question around a blog that you had mentioned about TiDB, enabled zero downtime maintenance. So, what does that look like in a live e-commerce environment? Can you share a little bit about that with our audience?
Sure. So, one of the reasons why we moved all of our self-managed clusters to the centrally platform-managed clusters was to enable this zero downtime upgrade.
Yep.
And before we did this, people used to be on very archaic versions of tech stacks because if things are working for them, why change, right? And it was not really a priority for teams to be on the latest tech stacks. But as a company, as a policy, we decided that we should be on the N or N-1 versions.
Yep.
And this gives us better audit compliance. This gives us a whole bunch of other benefits, right? So now, if you have to do frequent upgrades beyond the latest tech stacks, you cannot afford to have an upgrade process that
so true.
Has downtime, right?
Yeah.
So what TiDB enabled us to do is that you can, and by the way, we are on Kubernetes, right? So there, one of the big assumptions is that any node can go down anytime.
Anytime,
right?
yeah.
So we had to build in this resilience, build in this auto healing, auto recovery from the first go itself. So the TiDB operator solves for this kind of auto upgrade, auto maintenance. Right. Plus, we also built a custom TiDB maintenance operator, which hooks into our infrastructure specific constructs, takes in things like scheduled maintenance calendars and so on, and ensures that on top of whatever the TiDB operator does, it is made even more seamless and even more, less downtime construct.
Yeah.
So that's how.
Thanks. Thanks for sharing that. Because that was a question I felt when I was kind of reading the blog, and I'm like, okay, this seems to be interesting. How does that actually works in the enterprise world? But you shared some interesting insight. Bhanu,
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So I was saying that now every quarter we bake it into our plan that the fleet-wide upgrades would happen. If there is a new version available, there is an automated certification that happens, and
Wow.
automatically the entire fleet gets upgraded.
Nice. I think that kind of also eases up a thing for the teams internally as well. A lot of time is saved.
Correct.
For sure. So that's fantastic. Bhanu, what has been your strategy in making Flipkart succeed with their data challenges? How are you kind of because there's a lot of data and then it just grows massively. So how have you kind of worked out the way for Flipkart when it comes to data?
Yeah, so I think I'll probably talk about some points there.
Yeah.
First, of course, our goal is to support, Deepti's team to ensure that the continuous onboarding which is happening from MySQL to TiDB continues to be smooth. The migrations are successful, and we stay on standby to make sure that the whole process is smooth and because if the migration is smooth, then the experience for the application teams would also be better.
Yep.
Right. I think that is one. Second, I think I would probably call out is that we always have tried to have multiple sessions within Flipkart to make sure that the teams are enabled. We try to do enablement sessions within Flipkart, even though the Deepti team is already a master in TiDB. But there are other application teams, so we try to look for scenarios where we enable them on what TiDB is and what is the value which it will get for them. The third thing where we try to work hard is on keeping our ears very, very open, right? We do not have a mindset of saying, if there is a infrastructure issue or a database issue, then come to us. But if it is a SQL query issue, then that's not our job. That's not how we operate, right? And that's what we try to adopt globally in TiDB.
Nice.
So we get down to the SQL query level. If there's a performance issue or there's some enhancements or advice needed by our team, we'll sit down with them and try to make sure that we get the solution. Another thing is about anything which is needed by Flipkart, which is in terms of a feature which is not available on TiDB today, right? So we are also flexible in that area. So we try to be very open. We hear about feature requests which are needed by Flipkart. We will understand, of course, the criticality and why is it needed.
Right.
And then we will take it back to the team and put it as a priority, because we always do that for our strategic customers.
Love it.
And we will ensure that we deliver those features to Flipkart, right? So we've done few in past just to make sure that their journey does not get stuck just because there is no feature available.
Yeah.
Right. So I think all in all, these are few steps we continue to do. We just keep our ears open to Flipkart at all times.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. And what I'm kind of hearing is it's more like a partnership than a customer solution relationship that you all kind of share. And it's, again, a journey that we kind of, always look into when we are looking at a solution provider or larger enterprises like Flipkart, because the requirements kind of obviously come through the time. We don't know what requirement they might have, say, in a year. But if TiDB kind of does the job of, making sure where the journey is not getting hampered in any way, it kind of works out pretty well. A quick question for both of you in terms of, I talk to a lot of enterprise leaders, and this is one thing that they always ask me, that Ravit, when we the size of the enterprise that we work for is huge, but we always struggle with, say, database performance and maintenance. Any thoughts from your side, Deepti, even Bhanu from your side? How do they make it better, the journey? I know you all shared like a great, great insights around how they can do it, but in general, any thoughts about that?
So the first step to solving the problems is to know when there is a problem. So we've invested heavily into a lot of observability on top of like TiDB, as well as all of our stacks for that matter.
Right.
So and there are these different levels of alerts. Like there are some which get auto-handled, let's say by the operator or by the Kubernetes infrastructure itself. There are some which will go to the next level where, let's say, your TiDB operator will come in, and then third level will be our own custom auto-healing constructs, right? So Um, Similarly, on the performance side, if there are, let's say, slow queries, and invariably there will be slow queries in a database system, right? So having those metrics to be able to say that, okay, this set of queries has been running slow for some time now, you need to go look into it. So having the right observability and then having actionable alerts. It's very easy to get lost in the alerts hell, as we call it. So one thing that we have consciously invested into is that any alert that comes to our on-call should be really something that requires them to wake up at night and fix things. So keeping the alerts noise low, the hygiene, the signal to noise ratio perfect. I think those are some of the things that have helped us to ensure that the performance and skill is managed in a more, in as much of a hands-free manner as possible.
Those are fantastic insights, Deepti. Bhanu, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think for if I talk about what's the best advice for industry leaders out there, I was reading this content online in terms of what is the industry growth for DNBs specifically in India, and I think I was reading some numbers in 2015. The industry is at about $88 billion US dollars.
Wow.
And by in next 5 years, it's going to grow to about $270 billion, which is 3x to 5x growth in businesses, which we would anticipate.
Yeah.
And if that is really happening, and I'm sure it will happen, the direct impact for businesses is on their data strategy, right?
For sure.
So if there are workarounds being done today, right, I don't think so these workarounds will suffice for very, very long, and it'll give them a ceiling very, very soon. And hence, my advice would be to at least start looking into the space of distributed SQLs. I think these distributed SQLs are there. At least for future, they would become a necessity. If they are an option today, they'll become a necessity very soon.
Right.
So if you are into data growth, if you are looking into workarounds, if you're doing patchworks, if you're doing manual sharding, if you're doing the write and the read replicas a lot, but you're still experiencing challenges, I think it's time for you to start evaluating TiDB specifically, and solve all your problems just before the real tide comes.
Right, exactly. That's massive growth in those are big numbers that you've mentioned. So thanks for sharing those numbers. Very good points, Bhanu. Talking a little bit about the future as well, but not going too much into it. I have a question for you, Deepti. Are there any new features that you've used recently from TiDB that you kind of excite you and the team is kind of super excited about it? Would you like to share?
Sure. So we've not really used it, but we are really looking forward to this support coming in, where object storage as a underlying storage is supposed to be supported soon, and that is something that will probably simplify our app architectures even more.
Right.
Where we don't have to tier or archive our data, but that entire cluster can have both transactional data as well as the archived data, and queries are, applications don't have to change any query patterns. So that is one thing that we are really looking forward to, and I'm hoping it will also help us reduce the costs. Given the scale at which we are growing, I think the cost cannot grow at the same
exactly
linear proportion. So yeah, those are some of the things.
Fantastic.
Anything you want?
Anything that you would like to share, Bhanu, is maybe obviously I don't want you to talk about something that's gonna come up. We'll talk about that separately, but anything that excites you when it comes to the partnership with Flipkart?
No, I think for most of it, which we just spoke, I think I'll just do a continuation of what Deepti said about we are currently calling it as a next-gen architecture of TiDB. And I think we all internal to TiDB are very, very excited about this. We're going to come up with our first beta release by this year, end of the year.
Nice.
And we're going to open it up to our customers to come and try it out, right? But I think the ultimate goal of bringing this architecture is to bring even more agility and elasticity to the product.
Very important.
Right? So as Deepti mentioned, S3 probably would become a new disk to the database, which means that whether you have a data volume of 1 terabyte today or 1 petabyte tomorrow, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Right?
True.
And because most of the data would be sitting on S3, right? Your cost is not gonna, of course, blow up as well. Uh, and in addition, the tiering part, we've been hearing this tiering use cases very often now, which means, hold the data which you use on a daily basis closer to you, and anything else which you are not frequently using, put it somewhere. Traditionally, you would archive that data, right? But in TiDB, we do not want that to be archived. We want that to be readily accessible to you at all times, right? So I think, we are excited about that, and I think we are keeping a close watch, and we'll be, alerting our customers the moment we have those releases and let them use it.
Fantastic. One last question for both of you. If folks want to reach out to you, learn more about the things that you all are doing, which is the best platform? LinkedIn, X, where do you prefer?
I think LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
Bhanu?
Yeah, I think for us it's LinkedIn. We are on Slack. We are on Meetup. I think we are on different platforms, but I think Slack and LinkedIn are something which we are using a lot.
Amazing. And I know TiDB kind of does a good job of putting great content together on the website, white papers, blogs, and I kind of continue to read those as well to see what's happening new at TiDB. But Deepti, Bhanu, such a pleasure chatting with you on the Ravit Show. We'll keep the conversation going. Love the partnership here, and definitely looking forward to keeping the conversation going until next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us today.